The excavation team discovered a pipe underground in a dense forest. This was quite surprising, as the place they were standing was an old, dead volcano, completely covered with trees, plants, and grass. To see inside the pipe, they decided to insert a night vision camera. When the camera went in, it descended about 30 meters and captured a view of a huge tunnel. It was March 2018, and the excavation team was about to discover something strange 30 meters below the ground near the city of Lublin in southern Poland. Tunnel. When the camera was turned, they saw a track that surprised them. While they were still wondering what the purpose of the track was, a minecart parked in the distance caught their attention. When local authorities learned about it, they brought a map of a lost tunnel from the Second World War. It turned out it was a tunnel. This tunnel was built nearly 80 years ago during World War II, and local authorities have been searching for it for years. The entrance to this tunnel was blocked by a heavy stone, after which years of soil and grass had erased any trace of the entrance. However, from the inside, the tunnel resembled the one shown on the map. Inside, it had markings and the mine appeared to have been used to store supplies during World War II. Most of the iron objects in the tunnel were rusted. Tools like shovels, drill bits, and pickaxes were found in the same condition as they were in the hands of Norwegian military soldiers 80 years ago. During World War II, countries like the US and Britain were fighting against Nazi Germany and Japan. During this time, Hitler's army built thousands of underground bunkers. Hitler, of course, initiated these, but later the Allied forces also took it underground. Tunnels and bunkers began to be used. During World War II, bunkers held great strategic importance, serving both defense and offense. In other words, they served to protect against enemy attacks, while at other times, they served to attack the enemy. These bunkers protected against enemy air strikes and artillery shells and provided a secure base for soldiers. Defensive bunkers were designed on the front lines to block enemy attacks, such as Germany's Atlantic Wall, which served as a strong barrier against attacks by Allied forces. Some bunkers were also used for planning, where commanders could secretly manage their operations. So many underground bunkers and war rooms were constructed during World War II that it is impossible to count them even today, as thousands of them are still buried underground. It is said that World War II in 1919, the Allied powers and accession powers spent so much on underground bunkers that there was a shortage of iron and cement worldwide. According to one estimate, the construction of all these bunkers cost approximately $500 billion to $1 trillion today. Consider that the U.S.'s 20-year war in Afghanistan cost $100 million daily, while building bunkers during World War II cost $460 million daily. This is just the cost of construction alone. It's difficult to even estimate the cost of manpower, logistics, and ammunition during World War I. Let's delve into the bitter memories of history and learn about a few bunkers. The Atlantic Wall was a massive coastal defense system built by Norway, Germany, during World War I. It stretched 2,400 miles, 3,800 kilometers, along the coastline of Europe, designed to protect against attacks by Allied forces from the sea. Built between 1940 and 1944, this system included thousands of bunkers. These included ammunition depots and forts. At that time, Hitler also controlled many areas of France. A portion of the Atlantic Wall also extended into the northern French region of Normandy, where artillery batteries called Loges-sur-Mer were installed. These bunkers were designed to withstand heavy bombardments and provide defensive fire during attacks. As for Norway, its lower section could be used to stop Allied forces coming from the north. Atlantic Ocean. This is why Hitler also buried parts of the Atlantic Wall there. Fortresses like Christiansand protected naval routes here. Furthermore, the Netherlands was also under Norway's control at the time, and thousands of safe bunkers called Nachi were built along the North Atlantic coast. Germany's entire Atlantic Wall, which included underground bunkers, depots, tunnels, artillery batteries, and forts, was built by the company of a German engineer named Fritz Todt. 260,000 workers, most of whom were prisoners, were forced to build these structures over just 2 to 4 years. Even today, some parts of the Atlantic Wall remain as historical monuments, providing a glimpse of the engineering and cost of World War I. When Hitler built the Atlantic Wall, the Allied powers had no idea what difficulties they would face later. Then in 1942, an incident occurred that opened the eyes of the United States and Britain. Canadian forces, part of the Allied powers, planned an attack on the French region of Debra, remembered today as the DF Raid. The purpose of this attack was to understand Hitler's Atlantic Wall and how it worked. These sturdy concrete bunkers thwarted the Allied attack. Allied troops attempting to land on the coastline of Nazi Germany, they became victims of powerful crossfire, a major setback for the Allied forces. This was because they had relied so heavily on the strength of the Atlantic Wall that Allied soldiers had arrived, of whom 3,600 were either killed or taken prisoner by the Nazis. After Deep River, Allied forces realized that if they were to successfully attack Hitler's regime, they would have to invest heavily in bunkers and planning defense systems. Hence, a significant amount of money was spent on the construction of bunkers and tunnels in Canada, including the United Kingdom, France, and the Soviet Union. The Churchill War Rooms, an underground complex, served as the headquarters of British Prime Minister Winston Churchill during World War I. This complex was designed to protect Nazi Germany from German airstrikes. France's Maginot Line, built after World War II, also served here. New underground bunkers and tunnels were built. France was confident that this system would protect them, but in World War II, Germany, using the Maginot Line, pushed through Belgium. On the other side of the world, Japan, which had been supporting Hitler in World War II, also dug hundreds of underground bunkers. An entire network was built under the border. These tunnels included hidden artillery positions, storage rooms, and living quarters. These tunnels were used for surprise attacks during Allied attacks. The bunkers and tunnels in Okinawa were much larger and more complex, with thousands of Japanese soldiers positioned for defense and resistance. This defensive system was designed to deter Allied invasions and inflict as many casualties as possible. The engineering of the bunkers built by various countries during World War II is nothing short of a miracle. On top of the war, there were shortages of everything. And along with all these challenges, there was the threat of air strikes at every passing moment. Workers could even die of suffocation during the construction of the underground tunnels. Despite all these challenges, thousands of bunkers were not only built, but many of them. Many remain hidden underground to this day, especially those built in Axis power countries, because after World War II, when their rule ended, the soldiers either fled by closing the entrances to the bunkers or then died inside, so no one knew which bunker was in which location. One way to determine the location of all these bunkers and tunnels was to store secret documents held by Hitler's government, but these were either burned or hidden in a place known only to the person who hid them. These bunkers were typically built in camouflage, meaning they were built into the natural terrain in such a way that no one would know that a military bunker existed. This is why these bunkers remained hidden after the war. Special ventilation systems were designed for underground bunkers that brought fresh air into the bunker and carbon dioxide. Nazi leader Adolf Hitler used several bunkers during his reign. His famous bunkers were the Eagle's Nest, also known as the Kielstein House, located in the Übergun region of Germany. Salzburg was built for secret meetings and relaxation. Using concrete and granite, it was designed to be bomb-proof. Hitler's second famous bunker was located in Berlin. Führen was not a bunker, but a full-fledged headquarters. The bunker was designed to protect it from Allied bombing and artillery. Here, Hitler spent his final days, ending his life on April 30th, 1945. Today, no part of this bunker is visible on the surface, but this place has been a dark chapter in the history of World War II. Now, let's talk about one of Hitler's bunkers where he spent most of the war. This Wolfhausen bunker is less known. Rather, it resembles more of a fortress nestled in the middle of a forest in northern Germany. Inside it lies Hitler's bedroom and the office suite surrounding it. The ceiling was built approximately 7 meters thick. A thick layer of gravel protected the entire fortress-like bunker from airstrikes and bombing. A thick steel sheet door protected it from chemical attacks. This bunker, resembling an Egyptian tomb, was also built. It was so strong that even today it remains impossible to destroy it, and the security was so high that it lacked a single window. A special ventilation system was installed that circulated fresh air throughout the bunker. Despite such security, this bunker was made invisible in the forest landscape. Its roof was covered with soil and the same trees and plants that were present in the surrounding forest. Because of this, when a plane passed overhead, it would have the slightest idea that Hitler's headquarters lay below. The Allied powers, namely the USA, UK, and Canada, had no idea that Hitler's headquarters lay below, and the remaining forces planned for years to break Nazi Germany's strong defensive bunkers and the Atlantic Wall. More than 156,000 troops, 5,000 ships, and 11,000 aircraft were used to counter Hitler's Atlantic Wall. This was June 6, 1944, a day known as D-Day. On this day, Germany confronted the Allied forces with the Atlantic Wall's bunkers and artillery, but their planning and resources were not effective. Allied air strikes and paratroopers countered German communications and defenses. The Allied forces initially suffered heavy losses, but ultimately succeeded in breaking Nazi Germany's control over Europe. I hope you will like and share this video. Thank you very much for your loving comments. See you in the next great video.